Hi, I'm Lee Rovanescu, a partner with Freshfields in New York and the partner in charge of the firm's pro bono program in the US. I've had the great personal privilege of working with CJA over the course of the last 3 years on the Mosaic v. Syria case that's being heard at the DDC, and I'm very grateful to accept, on the firm's behalf, CJA's 2025 Partner in Justice Award. I am a firm believer in the important work that CJA does, and now is certainly as important a time as ever for us to come together and continue to support and contribute to the organization's work in holding human rights abusers accountable all around the world. CJA is comprised of a number of talented lawyers who are unwavering, steadfast in their support for that cause and that mission. And as a result, I am very proud that we as a firm get to stand with CJA in their pursuit of their mission. My colleague Yannicka will speak more about the case that we have worked on with CJA over the course of the last 3 years, but I'd like to also extend my thanks to the wonderful Freshfields team who contributed their many thousands of hours on the case. Our multilingual team is comprised of dedicated lawyers and paralegals, multilingual lawyers and paralegals across a number of our offices in the US and the Middle East, all of whom feel strongly about the CJA's pursuit of justice. Thank you once again to CJA. We look forward to continuing to support the organization's work for many years to come.
Obara Mosaic was one of the countless Syrians who were arbitrarily detained and tortured en masse by the Assad regime. In January 2012, when he was just 21 years old, Obara was held at the detention center at the Meze military airport, one of the Assad regime's most notorious prisons. There, officials subjected Obara to abysmal detention conditions and repeatedly and brutally abused him, to the point where he wanted to die just to end the torture. Fortunately, Obara's family was able to secure his release, and he eventually returned to the US. Obara was able to bring a civil lawsuit against Syria in US federal court under the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. This was because Obara is a US national, which is a jurisdictional requirement. Recognizing that such a lawsuit was not an option for most Syrians, Obara wanted to bring the lawsuit to honor those who could not seek justice and accountability themselves. So from the very beginning of the lawsuit, our goal was to shed light on the systematic and widespread nature of the Assad regime's torture practices, and to do so to the extent possible through the voices of those who suffered the atrocities themselves. As we had predicted, after we filed the lawsuit, Syria did not appear in court to defend it. And even though Syria did not appear, by statute, we were required to file evidence proving Obara's claims. In addition to Obara's own declaration, which describes his detention, we put into evidence 34 other witness statements. In these statements, the witnesses recount unimaginable horrors they suffered or witnessed: sexual violence, burnings, beatings, starvation, mutilations. Each account is harrowing on its own, and when put together alongside the 5 expert reports we submitted, forms undeniable evidence of the Assad regime's use of torture as a state-sanctioned policy. Importantly, we prepared these witness statements while the Assad regime was still in power and persecuting any perceived critics across the world, even outside of Syria. Obara, all the witnesses, the Syrian civil society organizations we partnered with, and some of our independent experts supported the lawsuit despite facing acute security risks to themselves and their families. We hope that a favorable ruling from a prominent US court would not only validate our claims about the staggering extent of the Assad regime's torture practices, but also establish the truth of what happened to Obara and the other witnesses. This lawsuit would not have been possible without their bravery. We are honored and humbled that the Center for Justice and Accountability entrusted us with working on Obara's case, and we look forward to continue working with them to contribute to justice and accountability for Syrians.